Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Welcome to Sipping with Sue. I'm here. I'm going to give it a few minutes just to get some people on live. I see there's a few people online. I hope that you're having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful summer and enjoying the weather as you can. I know here in Ontario we've had quite a bit of rain, so my hashtag for the summer is run to the sun if you can. So if you're working, even if you can get out on a break, and if you see the sun, go, because we never know when the sun's going to come again. So that's my new hashtag. We were kind of joking about it at a party with my kid's godfather. So that is the plan. Run to the sun. So here we are on another Sipping with Sue, and just to let you know, the next Sipping with Sue will be in 2 weeks. So again, it's on a 2-week rotation, and then the blogs are in between. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the support with the blogs. The last blog I did on the art of or the business of being busy was actually one of my most engaged or busiest blogs. I had the most amount of engagement, likes, and shares. So thank you so much. And it's still happening, actually. I'm still getting some comments. So I do appreciate everybody's support around that and the comments and the likes. And again, I can't do this without you. So I just want you to know complete gratitude, and I thank you for all of that. So I hope that you're all doing well. So we're here today to talk about menopause. I know, good stuff, right? So men, if you're listening, it might be good just to stay here. Maybe you got something to add. I'm sure you do if your girlfriends or wives are going through it, or a family member. And if you're a little bit on the younger side, like some of my nieces, I don't want to scare you away, but it is a good thing to watch and a good thing to learn about, actually. So I'd love to hear from some of you that are out there and your thoughts around it as we discuss this a little bit more. But I decided to take the whole menopause thing and just give it a little bit of a positive twist and call it Menopositivity. So I thought that was a little bit of keeping it light and fun, because sometimes it's not so light and fun, and we'll talk about that. So the disclaimer today is I'm not an expert. I'm actually learning as I go. I did a little research for this vlog, and I've learned from people around me, and so I claim not to know like the expert opinion on any of this. I'm not a doctor, but I think it's also good. There's a lot of people that are knowledgeable around us and know all about it. So that's the good news. And what else is my other disclaimer? I'm going to keep it real. So I might go into some detail, nothing too gory, I promise. I won't stress you out too much there, but I am going to get pretty real about it, because I think it's important to have those real conversations, which are actually happening around me, and I love that piece, because that's how we all learn from each other. So that's great. So I did take a few notes. I'm just going to take a look at them. So at any point today, I'd love to hear about your experiences around menopause or perimenopause, which I've now learned there's a difference, and how, if you have any strategies or any coping, and I'm going to share my journey with you, and hopefully we'll go from there, and we'll learn from each other about this whole thing called menopause. Okay. And the other thing is, this sort of stemmed from a conversation at a deck party. I have an annual girls' deck party every year, and it stemmed from that conversation on the deck party. Some of the women, I brought it up and we were talking about it, because I've just been doing that lately, and I love that women are so supportive to talk about it, which is great. At least they seem to be. I'm sure some are thinking, oh my gosh, why did she bring this up? Anyway, because I want to learn from women, because I'm going through a really challenging time with it, and I just want to know if what I'm going through is normal or not. Anyway, so we're talking about at the deck party, and I was hearing every woman's experience, and what I've learned is that every woman goes through menopause or pre-menopause, perimenopause in a really different way, which makes us all very individual and unique. So that's the important thing to talk about too. Just because I'm going through maybe a really challenging time, you may not. My mother went through it pretty quickly, and it wasn't too stressful for her. So hopefully you'll have that journey. That would be the better journey to be on. But if you have a challenging time with it, there are ways to deal with it, and I'm hoping we can talk about that today. So first of all, what I learned through my research, and I did my research, and I wanted to give credit to a website called Vogel, so www.vogel.ca. So that's where I got my research for today, and some of it, of course, is my own, and we're going to hear from each other. So what I learned is that menopause is, hi Janelle, welcome. What I learned is that menopause is actually after your period stops. Okay, so I'm definitely not there. And I've been telling everybody I'm in menopause, but I'm not. I'm actually perimenopausal. Now, I don't know if this is fact or fiction, but I've heard from a couple of my friends that you're truly done when your period's done for a year. Yeah, not there yet either. Okay, so there's some goals to achieve for me ahead. So I thought that that was interesting. And the menopausal phase, okay, say that 10 times fast, is the period before menopause, right? And that can last up to months or years. Shh, hopefully not. Because it has been challenging, I'll tell you. So again, these are the symptoms. These are some of the symptoms that go with menopause. Again, jump in as you guys know, because again, it's individual and different for each woman out there. These are some of the symptoms. Some of them I've had, some of them I haven't. And again, that makes us very individual. So hot flashes and night sweats. I hear women talk about it. I haven't gotten that yet, but I have, like, there are periods where I feel hot, right? Like heated, but that doesn't happen. But my mother went through that and she was telling me all about that. So I hear that that's interesting. Now, anxiety is part of it, and that has come back to me. I had anxiety in my 20s and it's come back. It's gone again, but it kind of, ebbs and flows and goes with things. So I think that is part of this phase. What else do we have? Irritability. Moodiness apparently is part of it. And I did have some of that, but it's not as much. And we'll talk about my theory around that because I was on some medication. So we'll talk about that when we talk about strategies. Apparently muscle pain is part of it. Heavy periods, and sorry, I'm not going to be so positive. I like to call them evil periods. So for me, sometimes they lasted 30 days. I know. I was like, really, what are we trying to create? Noah's Ark? Recreation of 40 days and 40 nights. And you got to have some humor, right, people? No offense, but you got to have some humor. So 30 days one time for me. It was like lasted forever. So, that apparently I thought was not normal. The doctor is telling me it is. So interesting. I guess I'm not the only one that has had that experience. Another part of it is fibroids. So I do have a small, non-cancerous fibroid, which I guess causes some of this ruckus that's going on. So that, that's always something you want to get checked out about for sure. Weight gain can be part of it. Hair loss, I have to say, like, I can take my hand and run it through my hair and I've got the biggest cluster of hair that comes out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I think I'm going to be bald. So that is part of this process too, which is, interesting. The things that we go through because of this change, it's so interesting. What else did I have? Forgetting, which I have to say, so the excessive bleeding is number one for me, and forgetting is right up there. So I'll be mid-conversation with somebody, having this conversation, something will distract me for 2 minutes, and then I have no idea what we were talking about. It happens to me lately all the time. So I've got a strategy for that. I'd love to hear it. I did do some research on it, but that to me, it's just like, and I know I've had other girlfriends talk about it as well. So the forgetting piece for me is quite interesting, and I did research some strategies. So again, I'd love to hear from you guys. So Janelle says that she's good. She has some her night sweats, and then some anxiety with that. Okay, so Janelle, you have to let us know what some of the strategies are that you're using. Because if this is happening to us, it's good to know how to deal with that and support each other as women, which I think is really important. So for me, some of the strategies that I've used in the menopause, which, leads to menopositivity. So if we're going to go through this and it's going to happen anyway, how do we get through this in a positive way? What are the strategies we're using? That's why I like to give it menopositivity, because it sounds a little more exciting than menopause, right? So for me, with the heavy periods and the heavy bleeding, the doctor gave me some medication that helps with clotting, and I still take that. And sometimes it's good. It's good for about 5 days and we're all done everything instead of 30, which is bonus. Other times it doesn't, it takes longer. So, and I'm not supposed to be on it for longer than 5 days because it is clotting. So that seems to be one of the things that worked. The doctor put me on hormone replacement pills. I don't know, like 3-4 months ago. I'm never good with time. Oh my gosh. It was good in the beginning and then I couldn't stand myself. I was cranky, miserable, irritable, which is not the core of who I am. It was horrible. And so I removed myself from the meds. I went to the doctor and she was like, well, how's it going? And I'm like, yeah, I took myself off of them. They were horrible. But I've heard some women have had lots of success with it. But for me, it was just like the worst thing. So yeah, not going back on that again. And then the doctor recommended going on the pill, which I have a prescription sitting in my day timer. I just haven't filled it yet, and I guess I should try it. At the end of the day, I guess I should really, just give that a whirl. For sure. Yeah, Janelle, that's a good idea. If you know what's causing the anxiety, go see a good therapist. I went to therapy in my 20s and honestly loved it. Love therapy. And I just think to have that extra sounding board and somebody to talk to, I think is fabulous. So I think that that's a good idea. And I've heard the Diva Cup. Interesting. I've looked at it. I've almost purchased it, and then I thought it was a bit pricey, and I guess I gotta get over it just being different. So that's good to know that that's a really cool thing, and it works because I see it advertised more, and I've heard of women using it. So there you go. Maybe that'll be a good thing to use and try. So there you go. Good recommendations. Thank you for all your participation. That's great. So that's for me. I have joked with the doctor about going for a hysterectomy because I think I don't need this stuff anymore. I don't need it. Let's just get rid of it. I know it's not that simple. But yeah, she's like, we're not doing that. So anyway, she's like, yeah, you're not a candidate because what you're going through is normal, which I actually am having a hard time believing that, when you bleed for 30 days, that's normal. But I guess it's the new normal, 2017. So anyway, no options there. Looked at it, I asked for everything, a DNC. She said we don't tend to do that. So they don't really want to do anything invasive. And I get it. I mean, I understand it, but a girl's got to try, right? A girl's got to try what she's got to try. The good news is the fibroids are non-cancerous, so that's the good news. I had a couple biopsies, and I have a doctor that's really on top of things, so that's really important. Actually, I have a really good doctor and a gynecologist as well, so I think that that's really important when you get to our age, to have a gynecologist if you are having some concerns and issues, and she's fabulous. The forgetting thing, so some of the strategies that I use, and I've always used my whole life, is writing lists and writing it down. So I keep a notepad and a pen beside my bed before I go to bed. If there's something I need to remember or ideas, I jot them down. But I've always been kind of really a list kind of girl. So I think that that's an important thing. For me, the mid conversations, like, when I'm having conversation with somebody and then mid conversation, I forget. I don't really have a strategy for that. So if you guys have a strategy, let me know, because I'd like to get over that and fix that one if I could. So what else? Someone else said B12 for memory. So I'd be curious if anybody's watching, if they have any strategies on what to do. Hair loss, I heard omega-3 and vitamins A and B are good for hair loss. So we'll have to see about that. I actually, what I need to do, when I was thinking about this, is I need to start really taking care of myself a little bit better in terms of the vitamins and those kinds of things, because I don't take vitamins. I take iron supplements, but I don't take vitamins. So I really need to look into this after I've done this research. And I think at the end of the day, they say you should ask, if you can, your mother, because you may tend to follow in your mother's footsteps. I'm not sure that I am, because she was a little younger and went through it a little quicker. She had some intensity, but yeah, not sure about that. So we'll see. And then at the end of the day, I think we just have to sometimes laugh about it. And so truly, this happened to me yesterday. I was at a trade show, business trade show, expo, and I was talking to somebody. We were out for coffee, and again, mid-conversation, looked at somebody, and then I was like, I have no idea what we were talking about. So I just call it a menopausal moment. So we can hashtag that, menopausal moment. And that's exactly what I do, because I just, honestly, I don't know what else to do about it, and I kind of laugh about it and kind of fluff it off, because I'm assuming this won't be forever and that this will stop at some point. So yeah, I just call it a menopausal moment. So yeah, if this happens to you, we should start hashtagging menopausal moment so that we all know what we're talking about, and then there's some support in all of that. What else do I have? I really think that when we look at this menopositivity or this menopause, I think it's important to look at it as maybe a positive change. And I know that that cannot be easy, because I have had some days almost where I thought I couldn't go to work, or I couldn't get to, a class to teach, but I did, of course. So I know it's not always easy, but I think the positive twist on it all is that, we're maturing. Like we're in this place in our life where, at least for me, I know I'm the most confident I've ever been. I'm the most excited about life. Lots of exciting things coming up. And that maturity piece is there. And I mean, I loved my 20s and my 30s, right? My 40s were fun, but I wouldn't go back. Right? I wouldn't go back to my 20s. So I would rather be here. And I guess part of it is this process, which means that we're maturing, we're growing. And I kind of look at it in that sort of perspective. That's kind of my outlook on it, is it's part of it, and it's part of growing old. But women are really, I don't even consider it old, because I just find women are taking care of themselves more these days. And I like that piece. So I think that's, for me, that's the positive piece that really comes out of all of this. And yeah, that confidence, and just knowing where you're going in the direction, which I think is kind of exciting. So that's kind of how I look at it from the, that's why I decided to do the Menopositivity, and try and keep it positive. Although I know some days it can be challenging for sure. I think it's also important to allow yourself to feel how you feel. So if you're having a cranky, irritable day, allow that to happen, which has taken me years of work. Because I sometimes would struggle with that, but I think it's okay to have those days and allow them to happen, and then get through them. I think that that's okay. And sometimes you can't fight it. You can't fight that feeling and that irritability. It's hard. So hopefully it's a day when you're at home and you can allow for that, to happen. So I think that that's important. I think if you can have some time to yourself, I think that's part of it. But I know that's hard for many of us out there, and for many of you out there, but if you can do that, and even if that's like 15 minutes in the morning. I laughed because my daughter said to me, because she's going to camp, she said to me, and here she is, 12 years old, special needs, said to me, Mom, what time do I need to wake up for camp? So I told her, and she's like, okay, because I need some me time in the morning. Oh my gosh, I laughed my head off. I'm like, where did you get that from? Me time? I don't know, like, because I don't talk about me time, but I was like, wow, you go, girl. Like, you're right. Everybody needs some me time in the morning. So I just, honestly, I love that. And we'll have to maybe do a blog or something around that, around me time. But I thought, good for you. You're 12 going on 13 and you've figured it out already. So again, if we can do that, I think that's important. I love that we can talk to other women, and be open about the conversations, and let's not be afraid to be open about the conversations. Because for me, I learn a lot from other women, and I also learn that I'm not the only one going through this. There are some women that were going through even worse than what I was going through. Excuse me. So I think that's so important to have those conversations with women, and I love that. So I think that that's good. What else do I have here? Let's see. Oh, and here's the most exciting part. Are you ready? Oh, I'm so excited. Wait, I gotta take a sip. I'm just drinking iced tea. Nothing too exciting on a Friday afternoon. Gotta drive later. Okay, here's the most exciting part. I was on Pinterest, and I'd already planned this before I went on Pinterest, but when I'm actually done, and it's the year after menopause, so we've got at least a year, people, I'm going to have a party. I'm no doubt I'm going to have a party. People have divorce parties, separation parties, all kinds of parties. I'm turning 50 party. I broke my toe party. I don't know. People have parties for everything. I even had a party for our dogs one time for their birthday. I'm going to have a menopause party. It's over, menopause party. No joke. So then I went on Pinterest, and guess what? They actually have all kinds of like party ideas for going through menopause. Oh my God, I love it. So I'm going to have to create a board. I haven't done that. So I promise I'll do that in the next week on Pinterest. And you guys feel free to follow or send me some pins or do some pinning yourself. I think it was a blast. So here's some of the ideas. And here's the one idea that I came up. The rest came from Pinterest. So we're going to have this party, invite all my ladies, all my lady friends, and we're going to have a red velvet cake. I know, like, bleh, it sounds kind of gross, but I'm so excited. Like, red velvet cake, got to have the theme going, people. Come on, this is important. Work with me. We're going to have, of course, decorations. This is going to sound really tacky, but someone was like, oh yeah, we'll just, we'll string old pads and tampons as garland. I'm like, okay, I don't know, that's a bit sketchy, but maybe we'll try it. Anyway, it was after a few glasses of wine that we were brainstorming some ideas. So, work with me. You got to have a sense of humor in this life, right? If we don't, I always say if we're not laughing, we're crying. So I'd rather be laughing. So anyway, that, balloons. And then I thought as bombonieres, we'd pass out fans. Like, you get the dollar store fans. So I thought every lady would walk away with a fan. And then I researched this. There's actually a hot flash drink, but we'd have to change one of the ingredients because I have a nut allergy. So anyway, the hot flash drink, are you ready? And it sounds hot, is Fireball. Yeah, the Fireball stuff. Amaretto and orange juice. So we'd have to come up with a replacement for amaretto, but yeah, we'd have like themed drinks. So I'm quite excited about that. And any other ideas. So if you have any other fun ideas, let me know. And again, this week I'm going to do some pinning on Pinterest because I'm getting ready for that party and we are going to celebrate. Absolutely, we are going to celebrate. So I thought that would be fun. And of course we would post that. But I'm assuming it's going to be within the year. That's what the doctor's saying. So I should have really got her to sign a contract. Like, are you sure that, this will be done within a year? So I'll keep you posted. Anyway, so I'm excited about the party and I'm like almost shocked that that's on Pinterest, but I love it. So it wasn't just my wacky idea that somebody else is having a menopause party or menopositivity party. I don't know, it's a lot of wording. We'll see. Anyway, so that's it. So I had, anyway, sorry. So I would love to hear from you guys. Again, I'm going to post the video later. Any comments, any suggestions, any ideas, any thoughts. I know, Janelle, you've come up with some really great ideas in the vlog here. So thank you so much. And I appreciate you being an open book. You said I'm an open book. And I love that because I think we can also learn from each other. And if we're not an open book, that's okay too. We can still learn from each other. So thank you for that. So I just wanted to put a shout out to this week on, I was at this expo yesterday and Diane Rowlandson is a coach and she met with me and it was fabulous. I'm sorry, I've got an itchy nose. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that's not part of menopause. Add that to the list. And wonderful lady. I met her before, but I barely knew her. She reached out on social media about getting together with people. I took her up on it, went for coffee. It was fabulous. Lovely, legitimate, authentic lady. Amazing coach. Came up with some ideas. Gave me some suggestions at the expo. So I'll share one of the ideas that she had in the next couple episodes. A partnership that I've created with a wine company, which I'm really excited about. So again, Diane, thank you so much. And thank you for being just a girl's girl and authentic, and supporting other women. And I love that. I'm meeting some really awesome people in the business world that aren't afraid to share their ideas and their thoughts and support other women, which is a huge thing. So that's actually going to be an upcoming, I think, blog or vlog. That's my plan. So I bought Diane's book, and you can see my post from yesterday. You can also purchase Diane's book, and I'm excited about that. So anyway, I just wanted to say thank you, Diane, for that. I really appreciated that and that connection. And I feel like we've got a friendship forming for the future and hopefully a business connection as well. Of course, a business connection. Anyway, heading to the cottage very soon. Going to be off the grid. I know. So no internet unless you go down to the water, you pivot to the right, you put the phone up a certain degree, northeast, you get a little bit of internet, but I'm kind of looking forward to it, but I'm just so on social media all the time, I think it's going to be a bit of a withdrawal. So the good news is I'm still going to do a little bit of work when I'm away, but it's in the form of reading books. So I just wanted to share the books that I'm going to take with me to the cottage. 2 I have not read, 1 I have read and I love, and so I would highly suggest this book. It is honestly my favorite book by the man that I really just adore and worship, who has now passed away, but I love him. Dr. Wayne Dyer. The Power of Intention is my very most favorite book on the planet. It's my go back to book. So I just started a couple pages and I plan on taking to the cottage and reading it. So is it work? No, not really. It's investment in myself, which is important. And then yesterday also I ran into Pat Massou, who was at the expo, and I've heard Pat talk before, and she is amazing and all about building your business as well. And I purchased her book called Stop Compromising, Make All the Money You Want. and it looks like a fabulous book. So I am taking this book to read it, and I'm excited about that. So I'll actually do a little bit of a review when I get back, so you guys know what that book was like. And this is the book by Diane right here. And Diane's book is Dynamic You, The Secret Code to Being Confident, Wealthy, and Successful. So there's Diane's book, and I'm looking forward to reading that. I know, Diane, you told me I can't read it all at once, that it's a bit of a process. So that's the good news. So that's going to be my homework that I'm going to do at the cottage, because I just find that doesn't tend to happen at home, that I have the availability to read those books. So I'm excited about doing that. And then I will let you guys know how that went. So once again, thank you so much for following, being here. And once a video posts, I'd appreciate it if you shared it, because I'd love to hear from other women and how they're doing, and their suggestions and ideas. I would really love that. So my PS was just remember that you're not alone. You're not in the whole perimenopause, menopausal thing on your own. We're in this together, and together we can do this, and we can support each other. So just, remember that you're not alone. Reach out to somebody. You can even reach out to me if you're struggling, and we can support each other. We can Skype. Hey, I can Zoom now, and we can have a chat about it if you need that extra support. With that, I will see you in 2 weeks, but keep following us, and have a good rest of July and into August. Take care, everybody. Mwah.